Okay. Today's going to be a really fun day in that we realize that when we go to train a dog, that the dog is already born trained. We're not really teaching them well, there's only really a couple things that we teach them that don't make sense to them. One is tricks and one is obedience. The rest of the things are all instinct that if we can get them headed in the right direction, they usually don't have a problem at all. So basically, when we start to train a dog towards a goal, we realize that we're only limited by a couple of things. First of all, is physical abilities. So if the dog is not physically capable of doing the job, well, okay, we're going to have a struggle. If we're not physically capable, we're going to have a struggle. If we're not interested, okay, we can teach the dog, but if we're not interested and it's not a priority, the dog won't care. So if we've got those things in place, it's something we really want to do, the dog's physically capable of doing it, all right, there's only one other challenge. That challenge is communication. If we do not have the ability to communicate, there's no way we can make the dog understand what we want. Many people get very frustrated with the dog, correct the dog for all sorts of things, but in fact, it's their lack of communication skills that has caused the problem in the first place. That being said, today, I'm going to take on the role of a representative from each of the different groups of dogs. Sporting, working, herding, terrier, toy, non-sporting, hound. I think that's all of them. Okay, in doing that, there's a predictable way each one of those groups thinks. I've taken away the handler's abilities to talk because the dog and the person don't speak the same language. So the only thing the handlers are allowed to say is tomato. That gives me a total question about what they're telling me to do, and that gives them the inability to explain it to me. So we're kind of on the same level as the dog and the handler. It's a great deal of fun. It's very telling when you watch people very often, they want to handle every dog the same. You can't do that. Every dog thinks a little differently, depending on the group it's in and the experiences. So anyhow, this is a really fun day, and hope you enjoy it. The Humane Society, or you go to a breeder, you get a dog that's not a baby puppy. And we want that dog to learn that particular behavior. Okay. So, who gets to go first?
You really want me to do that?
I do.
Okay, cool.
Leave it to me to get the toy.
Is that Roy's toy?
No. Who said? Rachel the toy?
You lay down and be good.
Brandy?
That's
Right
enough.
here.
Knock it
Settle,
off.
Brandy.
Tomato. Knock it off. Knock it off.
That's You're fine.
Knock it off. Knock it off. Stop. Knock it off. That's enough.
Okay, now what's the problem with this? She's saying the right word, saying it
I'm
the right
not
way.
giving a
That's
correction.
right. Why should I knock it off?
I'm not telling you I'm not
That's
doing this
right.
part of it. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Okay. That's enough. Knock it off. Too hard a correction. Knock it off. You're fine. Come on. Come on. You're fine. You're fine. Come on. You're okay. Knock it off. Now stop it. Stop that. Jeez, come here. Come on. Tomato. Tomato. Tomato.
I mean, obviously this is a toy. It's a stupid toy. But anyway, the thing about toys is you have to stroke them. You have got to make them to believe that they're still the most marvelous thing in the world. But get the point across, they don't have a choice.
Right.
You're doing the correction, you're doing the commands, but a toy is like an actor.
Yeah, dramatic. Oh, you're fine. You're okay.
So there's a fine line because
yeah.
the second you cross the line, they go the other way.
By the way.
That's what they're so hard to correct.
Hard corrections.
But they are very difficult because they're so sensitive. You have about that much leeway. You can correct this far and you can praise this far. Anything over the lines, they'll go to somebody else for attention. They'll be hurt. They'll be dramatic.
Boy, I see that. I've never been good with toys.
Yeah, no, you're not. Because it's really difficult, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm not good with toys.
No, that's why I chose the toy for you.
You stay. You wait. You're okay. It's all right. You wait.
You're
wait.
fine.
I'll be right
Now,
back.
Nancy,
Tomato. You wait.
that's it.
You
Nancy
wait.
was talking kind of like you do to, you're fine, you tomato, because she hadn't stepped up beyond the toy thing. Wasn't talking baby talk, but,
Now wait. No, you're fine.
Now, what's the other problem with a
Easy.
toy? Being away, they're very vulnerable. They also think they're very important. So you wouldn't go very far before you breathe. Right. Right.
You're fine.
But-
You wait.
Okay,
It's
now
okay.
if I was doing that with a toy, okay,
That would
how
just
could you
encourage it.
do that? How could you do that? Now, we haven't worked out, the stay or whatever.
Tie it.
You could move the chair close enough that you would have a line and you could make sure the toy didn't leave. Because when you leave, I'm very vulnerable.
Yeah, you want
I'm gonna go look for somebody
to comfort.
because here I sit with all the rest of the world looking down on me. So when you go away, I love to harass you, I love to play with you, I love to entertain you, but when you leave,
Panic City
Right.
sets in.
right. So, in dealing with that softer temperament, we've got to understand that although they act tough, they know, deep down inside that they're kind of a big fish, very little pond. So we have to leave them with that confidence because we love that part of them, but then we also have to make them understand that they have to depend on us. So if you walk too far away, it's one thing to leave Wiley in the middle of the floor, it's another thing to leave that Chihuahua.
Yeah. You're okay. You're
Fine, good. I mean, it's all
tomato.
that stuff, sure,
Good
sure.
tomato.
The other thing you
Good
do is possibly
steak.
tie the dog to something or have another person so that you actually taught that animal to wait and understand it was safe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Tie it.
Yeah, I mean, this was just a silly exercise, but you can see the complications when you get into the diminished
Yeah.
ability.
Too strong of a
Yeah,
correction.
and we do them a disservice when we convince them they can take on the world, because then they try.
And they get hurt.
But we also have to be careful of making them into wimps
Yeah.
who can't do anything. So they're a real difficult balance if you really want to. Hey, that's enough of that. Enough. Good girl. What a good girl. Okay, you ready? All right. Let's go. Come on, Sarah. Good girl. Tomato. Good job. Good tomato. Good tomato. Good tomato. Good job. Good girl. Good girl. Tomato. Good. And you start with
are fine.
I said tomato. That's easy. Tomato. Okay. Now I don't know what I'm supposed to want her to do, but okay, easy. Okay. Tomato. Good tomato. 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 Good tomato. Tomato. Good tomato. Good tomato. At that point, I've got you wondering what I'm doing because I'm backing you off. That's the perfect place to have her sit. Tomato. Good tomato. Now, if you start to wiggle and start to get up, hey, I said tomato. You, tomato. 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 Good no, tomato. You, tomato. 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 Tomato.
You're fine.
I said tomato. Now you tomato. 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 Good tomato. You tomato. Good tomato. Easy. Good tomato. Oh, now you can be happy again. That's that silly attitude. You have got to bring them back within those acceptable lines. You're very good. Okay.